So first of all, thank you so much for In Defense of Christians, and thanks for the whole team of the IDC for this important webinar and panel regarding Christians in Turkey. As we mentioned already, today is the Remembrance Day of Syriac Christian genocide of 1915 perpetrated by Ottoman Turkish rule of the time. And we as Syriac Christians, we remember this day around the world within all Syriac Christians churches and within also the community organization and social political groups doing activities and several works during this month of the Genocide Remembrance Day. Until the genocide of 1915, our people were scattered in different locations from Mardin, Diyarbakir, Edessa, modern Urfa, and on the other side of the Iraqi border in mountainous region of Hakkari and home to important Chaldean population in Siirt. While before the genocide population was estimated less than 1 million, after the genocide in most of these locations, Syriac presence have been eradicated and came to the end. During the genocide of 1915, 500,000 people have been killed and hundreds of women and children enslaved and have been forced to Islamization and slavery. The genocide of 1915 also caused cultural, social, economic, and linguistic destruction. Following the foundation of the Republic in Turkey, Daniel policies continue to target our people and minorities in the country. During the last decades, state practices against minorities and ongoing security and internal conflicts damaged presence of our people, and they have been target of killings, abductions, and pressure from various actors. Imprisonment of the case of Father Aho, the case of Diril family, ongoing property issues, namely those of Mor Gabriel Monastery, are important obstacles before Syriacs in the country and in the diaspora to return back to their historical lands, villages, and to re-emerge in the region with their presence and also richness of millennial presence of cultural and religious heritage. Today, there are around 25,000 Syriac people in Turkey, and majority of them are in Istanbul, while around only 5,000 Syriac Christians are in Turabdin, once home to 200,000 Syriacs before the genocide of 1915. Christians and communities, and especially Syriac community, are not well known in the country and often labeled as foreigners, fifth column of the West, and part of the agenda against Turkey. In order to change this, there is a need for structural reforms, constitutional amendments, regulating hate speech, and sensibilize Turkish society regarding different minority and ethnic religious groups. Contrary to minority groups in Lausanne Treaty, like Armenians, Greek, and Jewish community in Turkey, Syriac people have no constitutional guarantees and always remain to the mercy of the government practices. Actually, this lack of rights within the scope of the Lausanne Treaty caused major difficulties and problems for the Syriac community, as they didn't have their own organizations, institutions, and also educational schools and institutes. As a long-term proposal for Syriac people to found their own educational, social, and cultural institutions, they need absolutely constitutional recognition in the country. Actually, this is a point not only for Turkey, but it's also important to mention that Syriac communities across the Middle East, only in Iraq, they have constitutional definition, but in other countries, Syriac communities lack constitutional guarantees and recognition. Actually, even in Iraq, with the recognition, but we see implementation of the law and regulations remain in the air. And in the other countries, there is real need for the recognition of Syriac community and their statu quo. As in practical way, in order to help Syriac community and maybe other ethnic and minority groups, and especially Syriac Christian communities in the country, following the decision against Father Aho in Mardin, U.S. ambassador to Turkey visited Mor Gabriel Monastery and also Deir al-Zafran Monastery, and there he and delegation discussed the situation of Father Aho and also other matters regarding Syriac community of Turabdin. Actually, this was very important step, and also this was followed by the visit of European Union ambassador to Turkey. He also lately visited Mor Gabriel Monastery and also Deir al-Zafran Monastery. And these both delegations with their timely visit actually gave real hope and support for the Christians of the region. Actually, this kind of visits and bilateral relations and direct relations give very good opportunity to our people to express themselves and also give first-hand information without any interference to the counterparts and to the related parties who are dealing with Turkey, and especially parties that are concerned with the presence of Christians and their future in the country. On the other hand, as practical steps as well, I think, as I already mentioned, that Syriac community in Turkey is not really known to the Turkish public opinion and Turkish society. Historically, Syriac Christians have been far from the center and from the center and also from the power center in Istanbul as capital of political and social and cultural activities. Just a few days ago, French Institute in Ankara, in capital, opened a photo gallery about Turabdin and Syriac presence in Turabdin in this region. Actually, these are even small activities, give real visibility and open new way to people to learn about our community and visit also and support their need in the troubles. Also, in order to preserve distinct language, traditions, and religious and cultural assets and monuments, local projects can play a vital role for the endangered communities in general. As we speak about the danger of the erasure of Christianity in the Middle East, we see that project, namely by USA, that can have extraordinary effects on daily life and create new opportunities. Actually, up to now, I know that some organizations and also foreign civil society organizations open projects regarding the preservation of cultural and linguistic heritage in Turkey. But we can see that US aid since more than 2 and 3 years have very important projects, especially in Syria, and also they slowly starting to help some parts of Syria and especially northern part of Syria. This kind of projects, when we monitor them closely, we can see that these projects can help to sustainability, to preservation, and also to the refoundation of the community from the basis. We can see this kind of small-scale project, especially in Nineveh Plain in Iraq, that they really make a difference with the daily life of the population who were already endangered and beleaguered with the conflict, and especially during last 10 years with the rise of ISIS and the occupation of Nineveh Plain. I think this kind of projects in Turkey with Christian minorities and especially Syriac people can help to rediscover rich cultural, linguistic, and historical heritage of these communities, because nowadays, almost every week in Turkey, on the media, we can see destruction of religious heritage, monument, church, and monasteries from different communities. So this kind of small-scale projects can help to the preservation of cultural and religious history of the communities, and especially as we speak for the historical homeland of Syriac community in Turabdin, can also save these monuments from the destruction and also offer a long-term solution and presence for the community in Turabdin. As another point in Turkey regarding Syriac community in the country, last 2 decades, with a political change and atmosphere in the country and also in the international level, actually Syriac communities in diaspora started to return back to their homeland, to build their villages, their homes, and they started new life in this part of Turkey. So there was actually real will from our people to return back and to create new life in Turabdin. But within this project of our people from diaspora, simultaneously we saw that on the other hand, there were some problems occurring from different parts and involving different actors in this region. So with this kind of issues, especially property issues and conflicts, and lately with the issue of Vergili monastery, our people stopped actually to return back and to rebuild region and their villages. Also, to adding to this, the conflict between Turkish forces and Kurdish forces, either in Turkey or in Syria or in Iraq, especially in northern part of Iraq, caused also disruption and concerns for our people in these countries, and put them in a difficult situation. Although they remain neutral in this conflict, but create security concerns and problems for our people. And also these issues have to be solved in order to our people find their place in Turabdin and other parts in Middle East. So I think as a long term, maybe as a short term, in order to change this situation regarding Christian minorities and Syriac people in the country, there is real need to regulate the hate speech against minorities, changing curriculum, especially history books, which include real positive and negative definitions and labeling minorities against the state and showing them as a part of the Western world, and also as a long-term solution in order, especially for the Syriac community, in order to to guarantee their future. They need really constitutional recognition and have clear status in the constitution. These steps can help Syriac community in Turkey to engage within their own organizations, institutions, and found educational, religious also, and maybe other institutions like hospitals and schools. But this also needs a real step from the country. But on the other hand, also there's huge responsibility in our people, with our people, to continue actually to remain in homeland and being active parts of the civil society and change in the country in order to get this recognition and support. Also, diaspora Syriac community have to follow every development in the country and help Syriac community in the country. This is real issue within our people in diaspora and in Turkey, to be really close to each other and help them very closely. We already saw this kind of progress within European diaspora of Syriac people, that their help and support can really make a difference for our people in Trablin and also other parts in Iraq and Syria. And this creates new momentum for our people and create new view within our people, because as you know very well in IDC, that there is also not only in Turkey, but there is in the whole Middle East, there is real danger for the eradication of Christianity from various actors. In order to stop this, we need real change, first of all, within our communities, and then to the external world, to be united and supportive to each other, to continue our existence in our homeland. Thank you so much.